Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, a few housekeeping notes. All the product I'm using is listed below, all the dimensions. There's a link to my online store if you'd like to purchase any of these products and help support my channel. There is a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube to help me grow in YouTube world. So we're going to be playing with Berry Harvest today, and we're going to use a sentiment from Something Fancy. We're going to use the Happy Birthday. Now, I'm going to show you what we're making. This is what we're making today. It's called a spotlight card. It's where you show off one piece of your design. It's a very nice little card. And this subset, the Berry Harvest, is in the annual catalog. And before I get going, I should tell you that Smokey and Shasta are in the room with me today. So I may have to get up and let them out. They may want to leave, which would be fine. They're not quite a year old and they're into everything. Anyhow, on page 118, these are our background stamps. And this is the Berry Harvest that we're going to be using. There's several of them, and in the new mini catalog, which I can't show you the inside of it yet, I do have my copy now, there is a new stamp. I think it's called Forest or Forever Forest. It's a background stamp of firs, pine trees, firs. It's really beautiful. But we're going to use this one because it's still summertime and I want summertime stuff. So I have not mounted this. Now you could use this on your Stamparatus, and I did actually. Hello, Shasta. Shasta's now on my chair. Shasta is going to be on camera. This is Shasta, who's somewhat in the picture, not much. Shasta, I really think you need to go. Come on, honey, I can't work with you there. Come on. Okay, down you go. So back to where I was. You could use, if you still have a Stamparatus, you could use, or another stamping platform, you could use this. And I actually did try it on my Stamparatus. And I actually found putting it on this block and stamping the way I'm going to show you works really, really well. And you don't need that. So you do need your biggest block, which is an F block. Mine has got a little mottled. It's an older block, so it's fine. And this is one massive stamp. And I brought it out. I wanted to mount it and show you how to mount it. So I'm going to flip it over that way. I find the easiest way is to take and bring it. I'm going to bring it towards me so I can see what I'm doing, because it takes up the whole block. And like I said, the kittens want to go. So if you excuse me for one moment. Come on. Let's go. Out, Smokey. Thank you. Well, one cat wanted to leave. And the other one's up on my craft rack. So anyhow, you want to make sure you've mounted it on there. Sorry about that interruption. This is the issues of being a mommy with pets. So I had never done a Spotlight Technique card until I made this card. And so I played around a lot. I used different colors of ink. I did black. And that's what most everybody I ever seen do was black. But I didn't like how the black looked. So I grabbed Mossy Meadow. And I should go over the parts we have for this card really quick. I'm using Mossy Meadow base, 8.5 by 5.5. I have 2 pieces of Blackberry Bliss that are 4 by 5 1/4. 3 pieces of white that are 3 3/4 by 5. I have 1 scrap piece, approximately 2.5 by 2.5. This is for punching. I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss also that is 2 3/4 by 3/4, and 1 that is 2.5 by 1/2 inch. So all we need right now is 2 of our 3 white pieces, because we're going to actually stamp both of these. So I need to make sure I have a few things out here. so we don't have a real big mess. I've got my Stampin' Scrub. I have my chamois. This is a messy technique. You will get a little messy. And I have my baby wipes for me. Like I said, it is a messy technique, so you want to have some stuff prepared. I also have a piece of typing paper, scrap paper, that I can lay over the top of this. So, you know, I have to make sure I have everything in hand, and you're going to ink this up. And like I said, I'm just doing this, and if you did this apparatus, you'd ink it the same way. Make sure I've got it good and inked. I'm going to take one of my pieces of paper and lay it right in the center here. Trying not to jiggle it. Putting this paper over the top, and then I'm going to start rubbing. Being very careful that I keep one hand on there at all times, holding it in place so we don't. So basically, you're using your hands. If you had a brayer, you could use a brayer. And then we're going to lift this off. You can see how this is what I'm protecting my hands from. Gently lift it off. Oh, did it. Just like that. Comes out beautiful. So we need to do this one more time. So I'm going to ink this all up again one more time. I'm going to get too messy. Make sure I've got it good and covered. Our next piece right in the center. And that back over. And once again, nice little back rub. Like I said, if you had a brayer, and I actually have a couple brayers, but we don't sell them anymore, so I figured I'd show you the way to do it without the brayer. If you got a brayer, you could gently roll it across, but this is just as easy. Okay. And that one came out really nice too. Okay. I'm going to get this closed up. And I normally would set this aside and just wait to do this. Now I'm using my chamois, which I don't use all the time, but when I'm doing something big like this, I use the chamois because it's just easier. And then I will take it to the block and clean it. But I want to get a little bit off this so I don't actually get my hands in the middle of this while we're working. That's just enough, just so I don't get totally, which I've already got quite a bit. Now I'll just flip this upside down and set it off to the side. And if you excuse me 1 minute, I'm going to get a little ink off my fingers because I have ink on both hands. Well, I was going to get some alcohol sanitizer, but it's not coming out for some reason. So we'll just grab a baby wipe and get a little bit of this ink off my fingers. So like I said, it is a little bit of a messy technique, but I think the outcome is quite beautiful. Okay. Make sure my hands are good and dry before I pick something up. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to decide what piece, I'm going to turn these both around, we're going to put into our focal point. And what I did was I'm looking for it. I had made myself I had made myself a little template. And there it is. I just took a piece of scrap, and that's stuff on the side, of white paper. It doesn't have to be white, be it in color. And I took my 1 3/4 inch punch and punched a hole in it. This is my template to show me where I want to cut. And I think I want to get this little cluster here, which is the same cluster here. Now you have to decide which one of these you want to be the front of your card. I've got a little blurriness right here. Not much, but it's a little better than this one. So this is going to be my front of the card. We are not going to color that one. We're going to leave that one alone. So I'm going to take this one. And you could just leave this piece right like that and color inside that. Or take a pencil and draw you a little circle. I'll hold that up so you can see this. You see the circle? I found it easier than taking and trying to hold that in place. And what's inside this little piece, we are going to cut, just color that one little section. Just one moment. Shasta's into something. She stayed, Smokey left. So I'm going to grab, first is my Blackberry Bliss Light Blends. And I know that these 3 flowers, because I can see them, are in. So I'm going to grab the light one and do the small berry here. And let me do the small berry here. I could move this in a little bit, I think. There we go. That's a little better. And I'm not getting real fancy with this. You don't need to, because you can see all the beautiful. So this was the light. Now I'm going to grab the dark and do the bigger berry. He's older, so he's darker. And you could do reds and make these raspberries or whatever you wanted. I call them, they're blackberries. I'm calling them marionberries because that's what we have around here. And different parts of the countries have different kinds of berries. So this is, I'm going to use the light Old Olive. Now there is Mossy Meadow Ink Blends. I just don't have them. I don't know why I don't have them. I thought I did. But these little caps pieces right here, I'm going to grab little leaves right on the top of the berries. Just like that, a little bit right here. And then I'm going to grab the dark. And I'm going to do, just follow up some of these vines in the center here. Do this little leaf. I'm just following what's inside. So this is a part of a leaf here. So we're still in the dark. And this is inside there. And if you go outside of it, doesn't matter. I'm just getting the pieces that are inside. This is all just doing the veining on the leaves now. It looks like we have a little bit of berry that's sticking over on this side. So, hello, Shasta. Can you get off my shoulder? Thank you. She now wants to leave. Just one moment. Go on. Go. I try to film later in the day when they're sleeping, but it's going to be very warm today. And so I needed to get in here and film early. So we'll do a little bit of the green here. And then I'm going to come in with the light. And just blend the light into here. Like I said, if you go over the line, it doesn't matter. Because we are going to punch it out. All right, that corner looks good. Oh, it looks like I have a little blue blackberry on this one too. So let's grab that blackberry again. Doesn't matter if it's light or dark, you know, they all be different. Just do those little ones right there. And as you go around, you'll discover more that you may have missed. And got a little green here. Oh, another little piece. But I'm just switching colors as I go around so I don't miss anything. If you punched and you missed something, that's okay too. Now you could just stay inside and not put a layer like I'm doing. But I like doing the layers. I think it looks really cool. I think I've got it all. If I miss something after we punch it, we can go back and touch it up. So we're going to punch out our So I'm going to try to line it up as close as I can to where I have drawn. And then we can look at this really closely to see if we missed. So I've got a little bit of green here I need to get. So let's grab this piece of paper back here. This is what I meant when if you just go around here and give it a little touch up if you missed a spot. And I've got one little berry I missed. Just right on the edge there. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for a second and then we're gonna erase our line. Now, the other piece we need out of this is we need about a 1-inch strip. Was it a 1-inch strip? Sorry. Yeah, 1-inch strip to go on the inside of our card. Now, I do have this little flawed area here. So, we'll take that into consideration when we're cutting. I'm gonna grab my trimmer. This is why you needed 2 pieces. So I'm going to work from this side here and trim right alongside this. Now, I've been keeping pieces because I think I will find some way to use those pieces. So I think it's quite beautiful. And then I'm going to flip this around and cut this at 1 inch. And show you, I know if I've shown you this, if you're trying to cut 1 inch in a little piece and you can't get your fingers because this covers it up, bring in a Post-it or something. And this is the piece I was trying to avoid, was this little piece here that got a little marred. So that's for the inside of our card. Okay, now it's sat long enough now. So you need a good eraser. I have to tell you, a friend gave me these. They're a premium Mr. Pen premium erasers. They're a soft white eraser, but they erase beautifully and they don't mar up your projects. You couldn't use a sand eraser, and red rubber would leave little marks. This doesn't leave marks like a red rubber does. So I've got all that off there now. And I suppose I should move this camera out. I'm sorry about that. So now we have this piece. So to build our card, we're also going to need to cut. I'm going to bring our pieces back in here. There's our base. This is the inside. There's the piece I'm looking for right now. Is this little piece that is 2.5 by 2.5 approximately. And this is our 2-inch circle punch. Now, all of the punches, when I checked last, were all available on the online store. They're not in the catalog, they're on the online store. So if you go to my shop and you go click over there and you say online store, if you just ask for punches, they will come up. But there's 1 3/4, 2, and 2 3/8. And so, and I love a good circle punch. And so we have 1 2-inch circle punch. And or if you don't have circle punches, you could use dies. I think we've finished that piece off. So we have these 2 for the front and our piece. So the inside of our card, we are going to put in this piece. And we're going to put it right up to this side here. Going to get this card together. We have one more thing to stamp. So, most of my berries are going up and down this direction. We'll go that way. Make sure I'm right at the edge here. And I cut that perfect. So this is going to be the inside of our card, and we're going to mount it on one of these Blackberry Bliss. I when I started looking at this, and I'd seen other people do these before, and I thought, this can't be that hard. I can figure it out. And then we'll put this in here. You could put it on this side if you wanted, but I purposely put most of my berries going up and down this direction. Excuse me, getting the hiccups. Not supposed to get hiccups at 8:15 in the morning. Like I said, I was up early this morning. I am filming this a few days before you see it, because according to our weatherman, we're in for a heat wave next week. So, and I did not burnish this, so let's give that a good burnish. Now, this is the front, and we are going to mount it on this one. So we want to make sure we're going up and down. This is that little piece we looked at right here. I didn't mark it, but we want to make sure we're still going up and down. Now, I'm not raising any of this up because I'm going to raise up the spotlight section so it stands out. And these have 1/4 inch borders. I think this Mossy Meadow, and we're going to put this on here. Like I said, once you get the little coloring done, it goes very quickly. It's just a bunch of layers. Now, you could use dies to make your layers. You could use your decal ones, but I just cut them. Okay, and we need to glue this on here. And now we have to finish the rest of the stamping that I did not do. And that is the little piece right here, the 2.5 by. Now let's see if I can do this right, because this is Happy Birthday. And we're still using Mossy Meadow. I did not switch ink. It's the only ink color we're using. We're using 2 colors of blends and ink. 1 ink. I'm going to move this down here and try to get this as centered as possible. No rocking or moving. And Happy Birthday. Like I said, it was quick and easy. And then it's going to get mounted on this one. Now, you could have just colored that one little area and left it and not did it the way I did, but I like it that way. Okay, now it's time to mount these on here. We are going to use dimensionals, and I'm going to use the black dimensionals. This is a dark paper, and I found my black dimensionals, and when you look underneath, you don't see white, since I didn't want it to be. So what you need to do is, I'm looking at this here, and see this one is the edge of this one. And then you're looking down here, we've got a little berry, and there's part of the leaf. So we want to go right about there. You see how it all fits right in the center? So just get an eyeball where you're, ooh, that one already has the back off. And while I've got these out, let's go ahead and slap a couple on here. Okay. So get this lined up again. Remember, once you drop it, you're committing. I'm trying to line up the leaves. Lining up what's behind here. There's a leaf coming this way and this one coming here, and the berries are right there. And I'm going to commit. So that's where we're at on that. And then my saying, I'm going to, my little happy birthday. I'm going to put down in the corner and leave about a 1/4 inch margin. Just like that. Now, I needed some bling, I thought. And I don't know if you can see, there is a butterfly right there. And then I used down here, these are our new brushed metallic adhesive back. And I used these down here. And my sister looked at this. She goes, you don't want those. You don't want these. She says you need more butterflies because you can't see the butterfly that well up in the corner. So we're going all butterfly on this one. We're going to use one big one up here in the opening. And we'll use two small ones. But you could use any kind of bling you wanted. And another one there. So it gives it a little bit. I'm going to hold those up so you can see them better. So there's the difference. So I changed the bling a little, which is reflecting. So if you didn't have the butterflies, you could use just these. You could use something else, whatever you wanted. But this is the card. And I realized I did not do an envelope for this card. I would just, you know, I like to have something on my envelopes, but there's really no stamp to use for this. I could use a corner of this. We could do that. Hang on here. I had not thought of this until now. You could take this and place this on the corner and stamp it here. We could give it a try. I don't know if it's going to work. I could just make a mess. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to set this. I'm going to grab another piece of paper I have here. I'm going to protect my envelope a little bit. Yeah, it just dawned on me I did not do. So I'm putting this piece of paper like this so that I can set this right on here and just give it a little back rub. And now your envelope's decorated. So I'm going to do that. Actually, I need one more. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on air and show you one more time how I did that. So I'm sticking a piece of blank paper in here to protect the envelope. I'm just going to ink up one side of that. I'm going to put my flap on the block. Give it a little rub. So even though I have only one stamp, I'm still going to be able to use this. Pull that away, and we'll have a beautiful back for our envelope. So, thank you for joining me today, and the kittens who have now left. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and help support my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, and I will see you on Wednesday. I don't even remember. I know I designed a project for Wednesday, but I don't remember what it was. So we'll find out together. So have a nice day, and I will see you later. Goodbye.